Paramore just released their recent album, This Is Why. This comes after, I think, a 6 year break from them. And I feel like this album really works as a Paramore album, as I feel like it takes their regular sound and kind of distills it down to a solid 35-minute album that, like, I think a lot of their fans will like. This isn't really anything like genre bending or, anything out of the ordinary from them, but I still think it is a pretty solid album, as I feel like the overall sound is pretty good because that kind of emo pop style, whatever they're going with on this one, I don't really know. I'm not really that much into the genres, but whatever they create really works well on this track, on this album. It doesn't really drag on at all over the 35 minutes. I think the sound is great, with the production being top notch and Hayley's vocals sounding great throughout. But I feel like the song structures are basically all the same on this album. There's kind of the same build up to the chorus type style. It's on every single song. They also have the same bridge on every single song. It's basically like chorus, bridge, verse, or I don't know. It's basically the same styles on every single song. I don't know. It's interesting, but it kind of works. But I still think it is a little bit hard to distinguish like how these songs work together. Like, you have a lot of these songs that kind of just blend together, but let's just go track by track and talk about each of them. This is why I love the drums and the bass on this song, as they give a nice feel leading into the song. I love Hayley Williams' vocals on this song. I feel like the chorus is pretty solid. I like the upbeat feel and the tempo kind of getting ticked up. I like the build up after the second chorus to the final one. Hayley's vocals in the background are nice and add to the atmosphere of the song. Love the catchiness of the song, and I feel like it sounds pretty solid with the vocals and production. The news, I like the very upbeat sound, and the guitar melody kind of does its own thing, works well. Hayley sounds pretty good with her vocals, but I feel like the production doesn't really suit her vocals that well in the chorus and is a lot better on the verse. I love Hayley's inflection on the chorus, and I think the lyrics work well to create a picture of how social media and the news have shaped a lot of people's lives in the 21st century. Right now at time, the song has a lot more of a calm tempo building up to the chorus, where it gets a little bit more upbeat and starts getting more up tempo. I like the background vocals of Hayley with her screaming and just talking during the other verses. It works really well. I like the main melody that's created on this song with the drums not trying to do too much, just complementing the main melody from the guitar and Hayley's vocals. C'est comme ça, I think that's what it's called. The song is really interesting because it's a French little lyric there. But I feel like it kind of works well on the chorus, but it does get repetitive. The builds on the verse to the chorus don't really work well in my opinion, but I feel like the lead melody on the verses and after the third chorus sound really good on their own. The song just does get a little bit too repetitive to me, and it just is a little boring because it's so repetitive. And the chorus just doesn't really sound that special, especially if you listen to it multiple times. But I think it is interesting that they took a French phrase and, it worked well the first time, but when you say it over and over and over again, it's a little boring. The next one, Big Man, Little Dignity. It's kind of a funny name, but I love the saxophone lead in. It sounds kind of great as an opener. I don't really like Hayley's inflection on the big man part, but I feel like the production perfectly fits her vocals, and the calming production with the sound effects on the ooh on Hayley's voice sounds angelic on the chorus. Love the outro with the flute and everything kind of coming to a close on this song. You First, I love the guitar on this song and the drums and kind of it all complementing Hayley's vocals. Love Hayley's delivery on a lot of the song, as her chopped up delivery works to fit the production on the song. I love how the song kind of speeds up and slows down to give a sense of tension and calm before the storm. I don't really like Hayley's vocals on the bridge, but it works as a lead into the chorus because the chorus is pretty solid. Figure Eight, another cool lead in with the saxophone with the percussion and keyboard building up the atmosphere of the song. The chorus is really solid, as I feel like the calm after it works to fit Hayley's angry vocals during it. The scratchy electric guitar during the pre-chorus really suits the song, and transition from that and the pre-chorus to the chorus is seamless, and I feel like Hayley's vocals on the chorus are great and give just the whole song a really catchy sound. Liar, I really love the calming opening to the song and the build-in with the soft drums and Hayley's kind of slow vocals. The chorus is pretty great on this one, as I feel like it kind of all builds up and fits these soft vocals, creating like a very familiar, nostalgic kind of pop sound, which works. Hayley's falsetto on the chorus also works well and just suits the song, fitting the vibe of the chorus. The bridge doesn't really add to the song, but it works to build some extra calm before the chorus. Crave, I love the calming sound of the guitar. And Hayley's vocals are also pretty solid on this one. The chorus is a little bit repetitive in my opinion, as when you're saying crave kind of over and over. Doesn't really work. And I like the layering of the vocals on the bridge of the song, but the build up to Hayley's chorus just doesn't really work for me, as really simple as crave takes up a lot of pretty generic. It makes the chorus really boring. Thick Skull, this song is very calming. It kind of soothes the listener in a lullaby type way. I love the vocals on the pre-chorus and kind of how they fade in to the second chorus on the song. I also really like how everything kind of blends together at the end. You kind of have the vocals, the production, everything else kind of blending together to create like a final crescendo on the song, which is, of course, a great way to end out any album. Like, you always kind of want to create this big crescendo or this big like slow release on the end of the album, and I feel like this works really well. Either way, it's a really interesting album. It's kind of interesting to see a band as big as Paramore coming back with a 10-song album that I feel like really, it kind of takes the rest of their work and, puts it into perspective. In my opinion, there's nothing on here that's too amazing, but I feel like if you are a big Paramore fan, this is an album that you should like. It really just does its thing, and I don't know. I feel like it's just a Paramore album. Like, it's nothing special if you are like a different kind of listener, but if you're into Paramore and you're into all that like emo pop, I don't really know if you'd consider this emo pop or a different genre, but it is really like a solid album, and it does exactly what I would have expected it to do. I mean, maybe more, of like an indie pop kind of album, but it's still like that pop punk type of thing. And I don't know, it really does what I wanted it to do coming from Paramore. It doesn't do anything special. It doesn't change their genre up, but it is, it's like a little fun 35 minutes. And I think if you are just listening to an album and you do like some of the Paramore stuff, I feel like this is a really solid album to just get into and just chill out to, because there's nothing too amazing in this album, but it's not like you actually have to listen to it to enjoy it. And I feel like there's just so many pretty solid moments with Hayley's vocals, the production, and just kind of everything working together. And especially if you're just listening to this as just, kind of a chill thing, it's going to work for, the 35 minutes you put it on for. So I definitely would say check this out if you're just trying to listen to a nice chill thing. Check this out if you're a Paramore fan. Definitely, satisfies that Paramore type vibe. But, if you're someone who's like, bro, I need to listen to all the top albums, this really isn't one of them. I think if I had to give it a rating 1 out of 10, it'd probably be a 6. Pretty solid album, nothing special, but definitely good for the fans that wanted this after waiting, I think, like 6 years for this.